Here is the long-awaited video on why I quit vending. But first, I want to go over some of the pros, or just the cons actually, of the vending machine business. So I don't think I've ever done a pro and con video of the vending machine business or just cons, but I think I should speak on it. You know, I've done it for about 2 years, and I think it's time for me to come out and say some of the cons of it. And of course, you guys want to know why I quit. These cons are not why I quit, but I do owe you guys an explanation. So let's just jump into it. One of the cons of being in the vending machine industry is that, number one, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, it's expensive. The vending machines themselves are expensive. I mean, you're looking at $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 for vending machines. Now, the really old ones you can get for $800, $900, but they're gonna be just your regular drink machines. Like, that doesn't include your snack machines. So you put them together, even if you were to get two $900, vending machines, that's almost $2,000. And, then you gotta get snacks, and you have to have someone haul it there. So it can get expensive, and not a lot of people have that cash on hand up front to do it. And I'm really thankful that I've met people in the industry that I got my vending machines from who were like, we're not gonna give you a payment plan on the vending machines because I don't want you falling into debt if you happen to place it in a area where it only makes $10 to $30 a month. And he saw that, and he got me through that. Thankfully, mine didn't make $10 to $30 a month, but I'm really glad that I didn't have a payment plan on it and I just paid for it outright. But not everybody has that money to do that. And to be successful, you have to have multiple vending machines. Like, you can't just have one or two and expect to have all of this money cash on hand, to quit your job. And that leads me into another con, is that the more machines you have, the more work you will have to do. It's no longer passive. It's no longer passive when you have 100 machines. And I guess, yes, 100 machines is great when you want to quit your job, but 100 machines is really hard to keep track of, to do every day. You're going to need more people to help you. You're going to have to trust people. One of my downfalls is that I couldn't trust people with working on my vending machines and not stealing my money. I got trust issues. There's some people out there who are like, you know what, I need the help, I'm going to do it. But yeah, that's another con, is that it's not passive when you have 50. I feel like if you have over 15 machines, it's no longer passive, and that is expensive as well. Like, can you imagine $2,000 if you can find a machine for $2,000 that has snacks and sodas in it as well, for 15 of them? That's a lot of money. And if you want to grow, you have to keep reinvesting your money into the business. And when you reinvest your money into the business, you don't have a profit because you are taking every single cent and reinvesting it. So a lot of people think within your first year you're going to have like all of this profit, but if you want to grow, you can't have that money, which means you have to stay at your job. You have to keep staying at the job that you hate in order to invest the money into the business that you're trying to open. And a lot of people who came to me, when I told them that, thankfully they didn't want to get into it, but the people who were headstrong and they did it, and then they realized like, oh, I don't like doing this, or oh, this money isn't as quick as I want it to be, they get kind of mad at the whole industry. And believe me, you guys, go into those Facebook groups for vending machines, and these people will tell you they've been in the game for years and years that the quick money doesn't come like that. It takes patience, perseverance, determination, and time. It takes a lot of time. So are there people who have great locations and strike gold for their first one? Yes, but if you really want to grow, you have to reinvest that money. So the more machines you have, the less time you have, and you can't quit your job, but you're not going to have the profit because you're constantly reinvesting it. It's really hard to quit your job within the first year or two. The next one is the shipping charges. I did lightly touch on this. It's not that big of a deal, but you're gonna have to pay someone to ship your machines. If you can't, let's say you're in Kansas, who has vending machines in Kansas, there may not be anybody near you. There may not be anybody advertising near you that they sell vending machines. Finding companies, it can be hard. And the ones you do, they are not anywhere near you a lot of times. I know a few people, distributors in like North Carolina, deep Virginia, luckily for me. But if I have students coming to me asking me where I get them from, and you're in California, that shipping price is no joke. So you want to try to find vending machines near you, but that could be hard or impossible. And let's say you do. Do you have the car to move it yourself? Do you want to rent a U-Haul and move it yourself? Because now you have to figure out how to get it on the U-Haul. I had to do that one time. It could be really tricky, scary, especially if you're inexperienced in doing it yourself. So do keep that in mind. A lot of people have the problem with finding the machines, and when you do, them shipping charges ain't no joke. The next one is, I kind of lightly touched on, is finding machines. Like I said, like if you're in Kansas and there's nobody out there who does vending machines, it could be hard to locate them. Right now, I haven't seen a lot of machines for sale. Like a year or two ago, I was seeing them everywhere. But now that it's like caught on, it's really hard to find machines. And a lot of people want to find machines with locations. Like nobody wants to do the footwork of getting the location and then putting the machine there. They just kind of want to buy into it. You're not going to always find that. Like you're not going to be that lucky that people are selling their vending machine companies. Like a lot of people usually hold on to them. Like, you know, it's a really good thing to pass down to someone. But yeah, finding them can be hard. Getting them to you, even harder. If you have the money, I guess you can. But like I said, it can add up. Next one is that locating is time consuming, frustrating, and can be hard. And on top of that, who wants to do location scouting in winter? Like I'm in Virginia, it snows, it gets freezing cold, and I used to go out on foot and knock on these people's doors, and that's how I got a lot of my sales. Oh my God, I loved it. But in summer, it's like fury out there, and in winter, it is so cold. It gets tiring, it sucks, oh my God. So a lot of people, like I said, want to find machines that have locations on them, but that's hard. Like you're not going to find that often. And if you do, a lot of experienced people will say that they would rather not buy a location with the machine, because why the heck would they be selling it? You know, that's more like trust. You have to trust that this person's selling it for the reason that they say that they're selling it for. But other people will say, like, I started my business buying 100 machines from a person who was getting out of the business. The person who sold me my second vending machine said he got into it because someone else sold their route and he was making $1 million. So it's more of like trusting why these people are selling their machines, but you got to do the legwork a lot. And some people just don't have it in them to do face-to-face sales. Some people do not want to be a door-to-door salesman, and that's kind of like how I explain it to friends who tell me that they want to get into this business, especially like friends like in high school, and I have to tell them like it's basically door-to-door sales. Yes, you can do cold calling. I have a video on cold calling, and it was fun. I got another location because of it. But as you guys saw in that video, I called like 10, 11 people, and a lot of people laughed. There was one person who laughed at me on the phone. At the end of the day, it was great, but that's not gonna always be the outcome. A lot of people, it's so easy for people to say no to you on the phone because they can't see your face, which is why I'm like, go out there and go talk to people. I will say as a pro, vending machine companies are so good if you have kids, because how many people actually want to say no to a kid? If you have children, get them out there to do a vending machine company, because I tell you, they only say no if they really, really, really can't do it, because everyone wants to help kids. You have kids, I cannot stress enough how much you should push them into the vending machine business, because it teaches them responsibility, it teaches them rejection, it teaches them responsibility. Did I say that already? It teaches them so much. And to be a millionaire, a lot of people, rich people say, is become a millionaire is to learn the art of selling. So start your kids young, you guys. The locating the machines is a headache for most. And a lot of people don't have the time. Like, can you imagine, like, you work a 9 to 5 every single day and you don't have time to scout locations because the businesses that you want to put it in closes at 5, closes at 6. They may not be open on the weekends. I've heard that before. Someone was in an area who did my mentorship where they were like, I get off at 6 o'clock, everything's closed. How can I do this? So I was telling her, you know, maybe during your lunch break, take an hour or 30 minutes or 10 minutes and just call around and see if you can get, schedule a meeting with someone. But if you really want it, you will make time for it. This is another reason, is because you have the possibility of being kicked out of a location. This is one of my last points. And I definitely have some experience with it. Not personally, but something happened. Anyway, let's get into it. You may have had someone who said yes to you without talking to the big head honcho of the company. So it could be a franchisee person, or it could be, I don't know, an office building and the manager said yes, but then, corporate comes in and they see it there and they didn't approve it and they could tell you to get out. I've heard so many stories of that. It completely sucks. Horrible. And this leads me into what happened with my machines. So I'm gonna pause the last point and get into why I no longer have my vending machine business. I still have the LLC, but I don't have the business. I never saw vending or anything that I do, loan signing, planners, YouTube, I never saw any of these side hustles as my end goal. My end goal has always been real estate. I wanted to make enough money to invest in real estate, do my tiny house business, and that is all I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the hospitality business, and that was it. My whole family does it. All the women in my family are loan signing agents, got into real estate, and now that is their big money maker. Wanted to follow in the footsteps of every woman in my business and in my family. So when it came down to me running out of money for my rentals, I purchased a house. It was my second house that came with land for me to build on. It was empty. And I stated in the video that it was gonna cost me $16,000, $10,000 to $16,000 to furnish the house. I will probably, I don't wanna say never, but I will try my hardest never to buy a rental that doesn't come fully furnished, because I did not have enough money in my bank account anymore after putting down payments on houses I didn't have enough to furnish it. And I had to make the hard decision to sell my assets, which were my vending machines, in order to have the money for the furniture for my rental property. I did not like this decision. I did not want to take out a credit card for the furniture because I knew I was going to be taking out a credit card for my tiny house land, which is also on the cabin's land that I'm talking about. It cost me a lot of money to get that land ready for the tiny house. Couldn't take any more out for the property that we purchased, which was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. I kind of slept on it for about 2 months before I made the decision to sell them. So I sold it. I made almost the exact amount that I needed for the furniture, and you guys saw that I placed the order for the furniture on camera and I furnished it, told you guys how much it was, and I got the money from selling my assets. The great thing about a business like this is that it is assets. Buying all of those vending machines, I knew that even if I were to leave, which was my goal, I had an asset to sell with a location, which is what everybody sought after. And finally, after 2 months of really hating the idea, I had to do it because I needed to get that rental up to make money on Airbnb. So that is why I ended up not doing it anymore. I quit, I sold them, I went to Tennessee, and I stayed in Tennessee to, get it up, and now it's up and running, it's making money, it's doing pretty well. The tiny house land is up and running, it's doing very good, and I use that cash. It's all gone, they're all gone, I'm no longer doing it. And that leads me into my last point of locations want you out. I sold the location with the vending machine. I told everybody I was selling it, and everybody was okay with me leaving, and they were asking, okay, what are you gonna do with the vending machines? We would like it still here. I told everybody who was buying it, it comes with it. As long as you keep up with it, as long as you make the place happy, they want you there. I get a text message from one of the places that I sold, and they said that we want the machine out. I was like, it's not my machine anymore. And they were like, we've been trying to get in contact with the person you sold the machine to, and they are not answering. We need the machine out because it's been empty since April. He hasn't come back. He's not answering his phone. Like, at this point, we're mad, infuriated that he's not filling it up, and we want it out. Half of me wants to go get the machine and resell it, but technically that would be illegal because He owns it. I've tried messaging him, I've tried calling him. He has not picked up even for me. He's avoiding them as well. I don't know if he got a new phone number or what, but that doesn't mean that you stop going to the place and continuing service. Places are going to want you out if you are not holding up your end of the deal. That is the end of my rant on things I didn't like about the vending machine company and why I quit. It's a long awaited video. I really hope that you guys stick around for what I'm doing. I hope that you don't leave just because I'm not doing vending anymore, because I want to show you guys that you can start from somewhere with one idea and evolve to something better. And that's always been the premise of my channel, is to show you how to make different incomes, to show you interesting ways to make money and give you these ideas and show you how I execute it. Yeah, I hope you guys will stick around. I hope you guys don't hate me. It was a hard decision and I knew I had to talk about this eventually. Yeah, let me know down below. Are you still doing vending? How's your vending business going? What do you think about the person? Or what should I do about the machine that the person is just letting sit there after he bought it? Kind of agitating. But yeah, that's what's going on, and I don't regret my decision at all. I mean, I'm in a great place in life right now. Although it is a bit hard, it is a bit stressful, and it is scary, I don't regret my decision. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys later. Subscribe if you like my content, if you like this video, and till next time, bye.